Okay, hi, afternoon. My name is Jay. I'm the CEO of Archon Studio, and welcome to my fifth live stream where I'm going to be answering some questions, some of the questions we have collected in the last couple of days on our social media and also Discord. Couple technical issues. We're having some issues with internet here in our company today for some reason, so I hope the stream won't get cut. If it will, we'll try to reconnect straight away, so bear with us. Yeah, I hope it's gonna be everything all right. Okay, so as always, I prepared a presentation. I've got only a few slides today. I was hoping to have on live stream today He-Man Fields of Eternia, the prototype. It didn't arrive today. It will arrive on Monday. So because of our technical guys going on holidays, 2 weeks holidays starting from next week, what we're gonna do once the prototype arrives, we'll take photos and show you everything and explain everything. We'll still do live unboxing in a couple of weeks time once the entire team is back in office. Okay, let me move to this. Okay, I'm good at it. Right, a few questions. Today we're going to be starting. Let me just check if there's any questions. I've got my laptop set up on the side. I'm going to be looking at on the questions. If you have any questions, just drop me a line and I'll try to answer it straight away. Let's move on. Let's see what we have today. Okay, so we're going to start today with questions. There's several questions coming from Discord, and started from this first one. Does the next Dungeons and Lasers projects have a core theme, or it is the mixture of fantasy and sci-fi? It will have the core one, but we have been doing a little bit of work on it already. So Alex, who is one of our creative team writers, been going through some market analysis and also trying to understand what's the new trends on D&D are. And it seems like at the moment is a nice push on the Spelljammer, I think Spelljammer, on D&D. So maybe we're gonna do something around that one. I'm saying maybe because of obviously that needs to go through the project manager and entire team to see what exactly we want to do. However, it's definitely gonna be something for around D&D, which means no sci-fi. But stay tuned. We have something else for sci-fi using D&D DNL system, which is coming definitely. And I'm gonna be talking about that one at the end of the presentation. Okay, so the question was, yes, it started. Okay. And the next question: in the future, will Archon pick one scale for wood texture and stick to it? Yes, this is something which we also working on in terms of consistency between one of the sculptors and other sculptors. As you can imagine, we have several number of sculptors and they are assigned to different projects. And sometimes we want one of the sculptors to focus on miniatures side of it or some terrain side of it, and the other is fully focused on making terrain. But we not always are able to actually do that. So we assign tasks to, sometimes to different sculptors, and they have two different type of sculpting, right? So, however, looking at the last Kickstarter, I think we finally managed to coordinate this one correctly and making sure that the texture is consistent across the board. That's the things you kind of cannot really avoid sometimes, because you have to bear in mind a sculptor is also an artist, and sometimes the sculptor wants to use his own skill and kind of imagination to sculpt the structure on a wood, and might be a little bit different from the sculpture sculptor to sculptor. But our director at the moment, he's been putting a lot of attention on it, and I hope it's gonna be all good with the projects, with the latest projects. So we have a comment. Yes, give your sculptors a big thumbs up. They are great. They're doing a great job. They do a great job. Yeah, they know. we praise. I mean, we have our sculptors. We have we have 4 sculptors currently. 2 of them been with us many years. They've been doing a lot of work for us. They've been growing with us, and so on. And you know, I love what they do. I absolutely love what they do, and we have so many amazing stuff. I'm gonna be showing some of the miniatures we did like 5 and 6 years ago, and we now changed them into plastic injection, and they really you wouldn't tell they've been designed so many years ago. So yeah. The question was, could you tell us please the release date of Spanish version of Mortal Battlegrounds? End of July. Okay. We needed to push release for next month because of it collided with the previous manufacturing, and also collided with the amount of stuff we needed to manufacture, pack and shipped. So basically we hit the roof in terms of capacity of doing everything at once. So Spanish, French and Italian will be released next month. Looking at the where we are with the projects, I believe it's going to be towards the end of the next month when we're going to be shipping it. So yeah, I mean, kind of, we didn't expect the success of German version. We didn't expect that's a huge success of Wave 1, and that's one of the reasons why we have to kind of divide and conquer. So go for the small bits, fix the small bits, and then follow up with the next releases. We also put some new countermeasures in terms of making sure that a release plan, we stick to the release plan correctly, so there's no issues with releasing stuff on time, and so on. I mean, 1 month delay is a lot, but looking at my team, how stretched it is, yeah, it's really tough at the moment, and especially that we have to start, it's a holiday period, and we have to start some holidays because people will, you know, I think everybody in the company at this stage is on the edge in terms of breaking the backs with the amount of work they have done in the last couple of months and how much is left. So, you know, yeah, but we have to push it for a month. I will just check the questions. Pepe the Giant is my personal best. There's a question about it, but it's my personal best model, Pepe the Giant. I love it as well. It was you know, I'm engineer, so there's a couple things which, you know, I kind of value sometimes more in terms of miniatures, and maybe, you know, I'm not artist, so I don't understand everything around the stuff which is artistic stuff, but in terms of engineering, when I grab something and I know how much work went to making this one, designing this one, cutting this one, injecting this one, and so on, and when I look at the competition, we are very close to the big boy in terms of not only design, not only CNC and making product, but also design. So that's actually great. The other question is also quite important: is the DNL shipping still on track to finish today? UK backers definitely not. Definitely we need another week to clear everything out. I just had the information from our accounting office about where we are with doing all the invoicing. Every person who paid the invoice, the VAT invoice, last Friday, I mean today, by today, their parcels should be out Monday or Tuesday next week. Everyone who will close it or pay that VAT invoice, additional VAT invoice, which is for, you know, Brexit and things like that, it will be shipped next week. However, Michał told me there's in total around about 300 parcels to be pushed out the door, and there's no excuses. They will be shipped out definitely next week. As I mentioned in the previous video live chats, the UK shipping is very complicated, because for every single parcel there is a many additional steps we have to do than we do for any other parcels we ship worldwide. So we needs to go through invoice, needs to go through accounting system, needs to check whether it goes into that bracket 155 euros pounds. Now, because we're shipping today, the pound to euro currency is slightly different, so that value is again different. So in some of the cases we needed to go and do again the paperwork for them, and so on. It absolutely takes a lot of work for our accounting, so we are unable to get like normally we do 200 or 300 parcels ship in one day. The process takes about a couple of days more for exactly the same amount of parcels. But next week all the parcels for UK should be out. Next week we're also gonna be clearing anything which is reminds from non-UK, which is maybe about 100 parcels, and those are just unique cases or some things which was missed out. It always happened towards the end when we just, okay, let's go from the top to bottom of the list and let's check whether we forgot about something and things like that. So it's a great stuff for our team, because they did amazing work in terms of packing and shipping. They hit the targets, so I'm very happy with it. So, and they as well, so they need a break. And the next question was, is there any first information about wave 2 of the master of the... Oh yeah, it is. I will show you in a second. So let me just move on with more questions. Will it be possible to order by previous dungeons and latest products like the rooms and sewers and stuff on the website anytime soon? Or is the only close option rapid delivery of encounters? Okay, so at this stage the only encounters, so once we're going to be opening the pledge manager, it will be open on 8th. You will be able to add more content or buy content. That's only way we can offer you this deal. Because once we move towards the end of the year, some of the products will be released in retail with different price tag, with, let's say, a normal retail price tag. So if you want to grab anything extra, we will be doing an additional update to everybody, just to mention in that, look, this is the last call. If you want a great deal on DNLs, if we need more stuff, get it through here. So get it through the encounters, because one is closed, it's closed, and the next step will be just basically fishing for it on the in retail. What goes into deciding whether or not to include something in stretch goals or larger sets? How do you decide some versus others? How do you decide stretch goals placement, such as Robin? Okay, you'll be surprised if I tell you. Okay, yeah, well, you would think that everything is planned out and we know exactly what we're doing and when we're doing, so on, so on. It's not like that. It's actually operation on a live patient. I would say like that. Patient, yeah. When you start the campaign, sometimes when you have something planned or in mind, it sometimes it needs to change, because we have to look at the reaction of the crowd, what they think about the several unlocks we do, whether they're happy with it, do we have to change, adjust the plan, and so on, so on. That's the one step. Before that, obviously, we need to plan it out. So when we plan it out, usually, because we are a manufacturing company, we need to stick correctly to the costs, because that's the most important, right? I mean, we need to make sure that we can produce the product for you efficient, cheap way, just to make sure that we can deliver. There's no point to giving you 50 kilograms of plastic if we're not going to be able to deliver, right? So the step is that project manager is informed about how many tools he can, use for that project, and based on that one, he's able to plan out all the stretch goals, the large things, the small things, and all the numbers behind it. So it's really boring process. Nothing excited about it. And only what I can tell you that sometimes we change it on the go. Sometimes something great plan comes. Sometimes even you drop something to us during the campaign that will be great, and then we just okay, you know what, let's do it. We have some still budget for this project. We can just add 1 or 2 tools, and so on. In most of the cases, that's what it is in most of the cases. Now, what is also very important is, again, the boring stuff, which is the budgeting of the projects. We cannot go above the budget. The budget is strict to the number of tools. We have to stick it to it, and so on. Sometimes we can push the boundaries, but only we can push the boundaries if we decide to go for, okay, there is one more stretch goal, which is XYZ, and if we hit that stretch goal, we will be able to get that tooling and manufacture product and ship it out. Okay, that's only kind of what might offset. But if we want to add something just because somebody from our team wants to add it with no budgeting it or not adding numbers behind it, it's no go. It's basically no go. That's, I think, one of the reasons why DNL products, and I can be quite honest with you, is quite successful, because we know from start to finish how much it's going to cost with some variation. We have some boundaries, we have something kind of a safe number, just in case if the production costs increase. They always increase because of obvious reasons, but we're making sure that we're going to hit that numbers and we're not going over whatsoever. That's very, very important. Okay. Somebody in the past told me that when you do Kickstarters, you should be looking at very small margin of profit, only because then you can release this product to retail. Now, with DNL being so large product, you cannot set this one to retail. So again, this is the other point why we have to be very, very strict about it, about the cost and about the planning out. But from artistic point of view, it's basically our designers, our art director, and the other team which plans the stretch goals. So that's what it is. It's simple like that. For the new projects, we're doing a little bit more homework, I think. We're trying to do more, analyze more the market and see what exactly is needed for at this stage when we're going to be doing like DNL5. I will just check on the screen for the questions. Okay, do we have some plans extending rooms with additional sets like walls without windows and doors? Not with DNL5. DNL5, it's not going to be focusing at all about the town. However, in the future, yes. In the future, definitely yes. When we come back to Woodhaven. Is there a plan to sell a new functional doors as seen in the Abomination Vault and the City of Absalom? Maybe new type doors plus half walls add-on for existing dungeon sets. Maybe not for the existing dungeon sets, excuse me. However, definitely what we have done for the Abomination Vault and the City of Absalom works. And moving ahead with DNL, we're gonna be using exactly, the same system. So or similar, right? But it will work exactly the same way. It's about how we design it. It's about learning, and obviously it's about experience. When we design DNL, we want to make sure that we're not going to be doing so-called fake it till we make it. So during DNL1 and DNL2, we didn't want it to show you, oh, we're gonna give you these great doors, but without even actually checking whether it's working or not. So we did some test post campaigns We did some tests post DNL3, just something between the DNL3 and the Wolfenstein, when Wolfenstein exactly used the same system, and we find out that this system, the new system of those, works, and we can implement for the new products. And this will be exactly from now on, moving ahead with new products we're going to be releasing, we'll be using exactly the same door system. So you're going to have door on the side, and also you're going to have a kind of hinges which works that way. The new doors in retail products, yeah, the same kind of the same question, but he mentioned that we can have double door. This is a very good idea. To be honest, we haven't looked at this idea. However, maybe there was no need, but it's a good idea. We will see how we can implement with DNL5, and there's also a couple of things to bear in mind why it wasn't, because of sometimes we have to choose whether we're gonna go with this design or that design. The new doors on the new products, it's only one sprue. So on that one sprue you have a doors, you have a walls, you have a floor. So basically it's a full product just on one sprue. Implementing something new like a double side door, not double side, the double door basically, it means that it needs to be added as an additional product or one as a different sprue, right? So that's only one thing to note. Yeah, the double door would be extremely useful. I agree with that. I agree on that one, especially when you have like large models. When you open double door to big hall, and then there's a huge monster, right? It makes more sense. But as I mentioned, there's something to think about it. It's a good idea. It's a great idea, and I guess we will find a way of implementing this one with the next campaign. Any plans to Egyptian or Aztec Kazumi tiles for DNL? No, we haven't thought about that one. Definitely not with the next campaign. I don't know. The team needs to go investigate whether this is a good plan. We haven't even thought about one, so I don't think it will happen. But we don't know. Maybe there is a need for that. Maybe there is a need for that. Bigger than we think it is. Okay, there's this question. This is where we have to talk serious about about stuff. It's DNL. It's a DNL, and this is the issue we have created because of one of the elements which needs to be trimmed manually. I just spoke with my team. I was totally under impression that we have this manual instruction how to do it, how to fix that one on our website. Apparently it's not there, so apologies. The task was created. I mean, total oversight. But just quickly to explain to you what needs to be done, a small bit on that trim needs to be cut, right? So let me just, maybe if I move my mouse around, can you see it? I hope you can see it. So that's the full trim, which you can see it collides, intersection collides here with a roof, and it needs to be trimmed a little bit in with that wall, with that side of the wall, in order to actually fit it in. Why is done that way? One is it's oversight. It basically when we design it, I mean, actually I designed that one. That wall was just additional bit which was added later on in the process. So this is like, when we get too much excited and decide to, well, let's do something, let's add something great. And we added something great. However, we had no full system back then to make sure that it's gonna work as it should. But there was a solution, and the solution was to make a shorter trim. But we cannot make a shorter trim just for that element, because you had like 4 different or 5 different trim designs. So you will expect every single trim to be, that shorter. So in general, we provide a trim. However, the trim needs to be trimmed. So the trim needs to be cut a little bit in order to actually fit that element, and then it works perfectly. So there is no much issue. I spoke with Michał, and the team will work on a nice manual instruction, making sure that it is on our page. And yeah, so again, apologies for this oversight, and yeah, this is what just sometimes happens, right? A small cuckoo. I would say. But it's fixable. It's a hot fix, but it's fixable. So it's not like Cyberpunk 2077. Okay, anyway. What is your favorite? Oh, can you see my screen now? I hope you can see my screen. Yes, I haven't changed anything. What is your favorite favorite minis from the NL campaign? As I mentioned, Pepper the Giant is the best. I shouldn't say that because I've got my own miniature, apparently. I've got my Jahazal, the ugly troll, with my beautiful face on it. But the model which hits me in that, you know, spot of my brain, which is the one about the miniatures and production, is Pepper the Giant. Pepper the Giant was the model which basically was sitting on my desk for a long time. Not only that, there's several other models which sits on my desk, and one of them has been on my desk for about, now it's gonna be 3 years, but this is the projects I want to talk about. Later, and I will show you. I'll show that model in whole view. Let me just check the question. Do you know when the shipment for the USS Typhoon Masterclass minis will begin? The shipment began last week. As far as I know, everything has been provided last week from Paizo to us. So that's started last week. Sorry, the beginning of this week started. We got information last week from Paizo. So this is being packed and being shipped out. I hope you're gonna be happy with the models. Well, we also been stung by the Ninja Division a lot with this project, so we just wanted to help you out, guys, and basically we're on the same boat with this project anyway. But I hope you're gonna be happy with the miniatures. They were the first miniatures we actually made in plastic, so the team was still learning cutting and everything else, but it's really, really good now. Question: can we get some details about new Epsilon City room set, numbers of floors, walls? I'm not ready for that question. I think the sprue. I should, one second. If I got the sprue here, I will be able to show you. Yes, I do have sprue. One sec. Hey, I'm back. Let me just change the camera to my face. Yes. Should be IT guy now. Okay. That's the sprue. Hope you can see it. I hope. Yeah. So small floor, large floor, opening, some bits and bobs, some barrel, some scrolls, some book, some lantern, obviously. Then we have Then we have a short wall, 2 short walls, some crate, and obviously the door. So that's one sprue. And if I'm correct, there is 6 of them. 6 of them, I think, in the box and the clips, but don't quote me on that one. I don't really remember. It's exactly the same amount as it is with the other Pathfinder terrain in terms of quantity, and very similar design. And there's also this a stamp, I would say, something like that. But it looks great. Anyway, it looks great, and you've seen the pictures. By the way, it is in color, so you're gonna get in this color, which should help you to paint it much faster, because in terms of wood, you just need a wash on it, and that's it, and job done. So you don't have to overpaint the brown and everything else. And it's a test sprue, by the way. So if you see, okay, Anya wanted to give me the box just to make sure I got the box. Thank you, Anya. I've got the box. So that's the box. It's 93 pieces, 12 floors, 24 walls, 6 doors. So it's 6 sprues basically. Yeah. I got lovely shelves, right? Yeah, it's getting bigger in terms of products. Okay, so that was that. Let me just now switch back to. Yes, I'm good at it. The next question is very long. I read it before, It's about shipping and everything else on it. I'm not quite sure which part. One second. Let me just go back to the question because apparently there's few. Will Archon support more DNL roofs in the future? Yes, I have some ideas about the round walls with roofs, but that will come later. Will this be available with the high walls? No, it's only a short walls. You can get it from our hostel. Yes, you can get it from our hostel. Thank you, Shimon. Well, thank you. I'm not the best to do live streams, to be honest. I'm autistic, so. But thank you. Okay. When will Robin get his own game? I don't know, Derek. You haven't asked nicely. Okay. Right. I need to come back to this question because it's very important. You know, we're trying to do the best in terms of giving you the correct. I'm not. First of all, let me start. I don't know what country you are from. I think might be in some countries where the regulation in terms of shipping, additional cost, and everything else are very, very difficult and skyrocketed. I know there is a huge problem in the UK in terms of receiving parcels from Europe. FedEx was charging, sometimes overcharging people, double charging, even asking people to get pay. We then wanted to change FedEx to other company in terms of shipping. We find out every single company is doing that. It looks like absolutely nobody knows how it works. It's been so, it's been a couple of years now since the Brexit, and we still, companies or customs don't know what they should do, and so on, so on, so on. We do the best to actually give you the price for shipping, and we never have any from our side, no hidden costs. So we're not gonna go and ask you for, what, you have to pay me twice now for shipping because I told you something else on the page. No, we did once or twice when we need to increase for $1 or something, and all that was only the reasons why, because of we received the new quotes and so on, and in the same time we offer you to give you a miniature for that one, so it's nothing for free. So we not ask you, just give us more because of, yeah. But in terms of receiving stuff, in terms of being custom charges, this is something we don't know at all. How they been operating in different countries, so many countries, that's quite difficult. So my suggestions only is, it might be your first project which you backed. My suggestion only is to go in the future just to check it and Google it, because we always say we're not covering any additional charges which being done by your country. We pay VAT, we pay OES VAT. It's an absolutely huge chunk of money we have to pay from every single project, from every single product we are selling to Europe, and we pay that to every single individual country. So if you're from Germany, we pay to Germany, and so on, depending which country you are coming from. So that is covered. You will never be charged for VAT. We will never hide VAT charges. We will never ask you to pay on top for the product you have backed for. So if you backed for 99 from us, you're gonna get charged 99, and then for the shipping, and that's it. Now other taxes which comes, they depend on the country, as I mentioned, and they are beyond any our understanding kind of how they work. As you even mentioned, some people receive it and with no issues, some other received with issues. So something we cannot do about it, and nothing we can do about it, basically. So my suggestion is basically next time when you're going to back our projects or any other type of projects, is to just Google it and look for your domestic charges. Maybe what we should do with the next projects is basically make some links for everybody from other countries which we know they might expect it, something like that. But do me a favor, let us know at least from what country you are. That will give us some understanding why you have been charged so much. Maybe you have been overcharged or something. Okay, let me check questions. The design of abomination vault is nice. It is good. It's really good. To be honest, I'm gonna be quite honest with you. Quite frankly, that was one of the most difficult sprue in manufacturing. We've been doing this for about 3 years now, and we suffered so much in terms of production with this sprue. So yeah, many things went wrong with it. We needed to do several correction with this sprue, which usually it's not happening, but yeah, it paid back very nicely. The detail is great. Some of the ideas are awesome. The thickness of the plastic, everything else, I'm very, very happy with. Pressure your government to make shipping easier. Well, shipping nowadays, it is extremely complex, and it will be even more complex. I mean, we ship everything through Germany, really. It's being collected from us, but the main hub, global distribution hub, is in Germany. So we ship everything to Germany. Well, we ship to the Polish hub, then it's everything being packed, but the main distribution hub is in Germany. And at the moment there is, for instance, strike in Germany. So FedEx is on strike, and many other couriers as well, which means in some of the cases the parcel sits there for about a week or two with no updates on a shipping. In some cases that parcels are being shipped to United States and it's actually on the way to be delivered to the backer, but the system doesn't show that because somebody in Germany being on strike hasn't updated the data. So it's quite complex. I mean, shipping it seems to be quite easy. Just get one parcel and ship it. But if you ship 10,000 parcels and you have 50, 60 or 100 cases, it will be there. And I think currently with the way we're tracking it, it's our mistakes. So we track our mistakes of mispacking and mislabeling and everything else we do wrong, damaged product being shipped to you or something like that. And as I mentioned on the previous video, we are about 3% something, but we need to go below 1%. End of the story, and we can do that with the systems. However, the other side of it is all the mistakes that are done by the external factors like FedEx, and it is a lot. And I'm sometimes surprised how they can ruin business the way they ruin the business with so many mistakes. Absolutely so many mistakes. I mean, damaged parcels. I mean, we've seen everything, absolutely everything. Even repacked in some orange boxes. We don't ship anything in fruit boxes, and they repacked everything because something was damaged on the way to the customer into a fruit boxes. Come on. Okay, crazy stuff. Okay, right, a little bit information about the field of Eternia, which I mentioned at the beginning of the stream. That's the pictures from China. We got it before the game was shipped out to us. As I mentioned, it has not arrived, so we are not going to do any live stream. However, as soon as here, I will take photos. We will post those photos, and within 2.5 week time, when everybody's back in office, we will do another live stream with unboxing. There's a few changes we have to do, by the way. It's not like it's perfect. There's a small few tiny changes which I will explain to you once I'm gonna be doing unboxing, but those changes actually happening now, so it's not like we're gonna wait to I don't know what. Shame this project is late for 3 months because of the situation which we in China, because realistically speaking, what I'm showing you right now, we should receive almost 4 months ago. So by now we should be, shipping that to a backers. But it is what it is. Let me just check the questions. I was saying, okay. I was saying the people in place like UK should pressure the government. Archon is doing more than. Okay, well, it is crazy. It is crazy. We've seen strange things, really strange things with customs. I remember when we shipped Wolfenstein, that was the prime example. I asked my team to ship 30 parcels, 30, and to make correct paperwork, just to see whether the system works, that what they wanted we did. We shipped those 30 parcels. First 10, no issues. But after the 10th one, we start receiving messages from the backers saying, oh, by the way, I got some extra charges. Why? And we went then back to FedEx and the UK customs. That look, that was the VAT was paid back in 2019. What's going on, right? And it started, and nobody knew what's going on. Nobody knew how to fix it, and so on, and so on. Because in general, Brexit the system was not prepared for getting paid for something before Brexit and shipping after Brexit. Oh, simple as that. So crazy. It is stabilizing now a little bit, but we don't know how it will go. Working conditions in the logistic business are bad in Germany. I mean, people's got rights to go on strike. Simple as that. Simple as that. I'm the businessman. I'm running business basically. I understand everything. We're doing our best to actually making sure that everybody's happy in the business and that everybody, get paid well for the Polish standard. But people, if the situation with working conditions is what it is, they should go on strike. That's it. Simple. They have a right to do. Okay, so quickly about the reinforcement have arrived. This is for the Battleground. We have a very nice blog entry on our blog, on our webpage. If you go, you can check it for yourself. And it is in 3 languages: German language, Polish, and English. In general, it shows you many tactical movements. You can how to use basically wave 1 to your advantage. So we are going to be doing all those tactical kind of blogs post on a weekly basis almost. So starting from next week, we're gonna have a lot more information about Home 3. Heroes Might and Magic 3, but also with the Wave 2, we will do exactly the same. So there's lots of information there. You can there's lots of information how you can use it, how you can play it, and so on, so on. Obviously, not everything, but at least quite good information there is there. Right, this you might have seen this one or not. Yeah, I was going to show you a model. Let me just show you them. Before that, let's talk a little bit about Rampart models, and let's talk a little bit about Rampart. Hi, let's talk a little bit about Rampart. Rampart is about to, all the production is started, and we're going to start shipping it next week. We wanted to ship this week, but those UK's parts has pushed it a little bit for date, so we're gonna start shipping next week. I've got many miniatures to show you. That's the Walker miniature, which I just got it today. It's got 2 different set of legs, so you can do this leg, or you can do like a 4-legged drone or the Walker. So it is as it was shown on design. That model was made in resin back in 2019, and we tuned it in plastic. I also have a lot of other miniatures I wanted to show you, and this is what I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, because these miniatures, let me just see if I can find and get the focus. Okay, please, camera blue. Oh yeah. Right. Yes. Okay, so that's one of the examples. That's a plastic injection miniature made at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces. Detail on it is amazing, and is something which is easily comparable with the big boy. You know which big boy I'm talking about, eh? Right here we have. One second, let me just try to grab focus again. No? No? Yeah. Okay. Well, as you can see, our system is not the best. We are trying to set up new additional camera, but it wasn't working, so another technical issues. But the Rampart backers, they're gonna have those models very, very soon. So they're gonna be able to, you know, tell you exactly what I'm telling you right now. So and price the quality of the miniatures. That's the sprue for those miniatures. The team did amazing job in terms of cutting it to small bits. There's a small mistake we've made, but it's gonna be fixed as well. It is being fixed on Monday on a sprue, but let's go back quickly to my presentation. Pick. Yes, I'm good at it. Okay, there was a project back in 2019 when we started doing wargame. I want to talk about this wargame a little bit more. One of the reasons why, because we want to come back to this one, to come back to this idea of that game and start, you know, proper work on it. The several reasons why we stopped. One of the reasons was that we had no let's say the process of our CNC wasn't ready back then, and that was the reasons why we started Rampart. So we started on the terrain pieces because the terrain pieces are much easier to make than the miniatures. And then and because of that we decide to go for the terrain, and then with the terrain, you know, maybe once we learn the process, everything else, we can start doing miniatures. We now do great miniatures, so we can go back to a wargame. And that game we have been designing for quite some time now. It is so unique that I will have to do with the next presentation, couple of slides explaining you rules. But it's absolutely, in my opinion, personal opinion, and I've been in wargaming for many years, about 20 years. It is fresh and unique, really fresh and really unique. The way you play, the way you introduce your army, it's not like, you know, standard from off the shelf, but it's something, brings something fresh and new. We designed about 3 factions, miniature wise, 3 factions, actually 4 factions, including the one miniatures I show you currently, which was the Empire of Men miniature. So we had space vampires and everything around the space vampires, including zombies, necromancers, and so on. We then have humans, which we called renegades. The one you have seen it, that's the renegades faction. There's more miniatures to that renegades faction, just only a few you can see here. We also designed the shields, which are clear plastic shields and everything else, so it's gonna be great product. Then we have prompts. We call them quickly prompts, Prometheans, but the prompts are space grays basically, with some walkers. There's an additional vehicle to that one, which you're not gonna see on this. Maybe you're gonna see on, no, I don't have on the render. And also we've made a lot of additional art. This is like digital art, overpainted, and so on. So this is the other game we're gonna be working on. We're gonna be basically showing you more and more about this wargame. I'm gonna be spending just a few minutes on every live stream just to showing you exactly what we have, you know, what we have planned for. There is also space game, spaceship game, which we currently playing, and is very, very advanced in terms of rules. I absolutely love it. The game, it's getting more and more into where I think we should be, you know, when we should be with that game. So this is something I'm also gonna be talking to you next couple of weeks when I'm back on live streaming. So both games we plan to release some point next year, or maybe I don't know if we're gonna be able this year in terms of tooling and so on, but we will see what we can do. And yeah, so there's more games coming from us and more plastic injection. And now going back to this discussion about the sci-fi terrain, we are about to start shipping Rampart 3. The terrain as a terrain is great, absolutely great, and so on. I spoke today with my sculptors. We talk about the NL5, and we also mentioned, also had discussion about the future of Rampart terrain, how we're going to do it and what we can do. There's several options we can do. We can design new terrain, which will work with DNL, with exactly the same as DNL system. There are pros and cons to that, right? So definitely it's very flexible terrain, so you can actually use that terrain in take the layers of the terrain and have miniatures inside, so it is good for that. So as you have with DNL, every single floor can be removed, so and so on, and stack up. So that will help, you know, using that system. And we're thinking about that one. We're thinking about it because of if we're going to be doing anything, which is related to wargaming, and especially with this one, it needs to have great terrain. So the options are there, and if you're going to be interested into any type of terrain for sci-fi, watch this project. Basically watch this project, because this project needs to be released with terrain. Okay, let me just check some questions, and we're gonna be wrapping up today. It's 50 minutes of your time I have taken. Let me just check quickly. Okay, Derek is Derek is right. He said, don't ask how long we spent trying to come up with a name for this game. Absolutely. I don't know how many names we have. 5, 10? We will keep changing and so on. It was just like we couldn't figure it out. How to name this game. The names are awful. Yeah, they are. I know they're still awful. You see, Derek? We have to go back to the drawing board and start it again from scratch. This is great. Space vampires are less common. Yes, there is also several changes we want to do to those designs. We've been, having, because the previous designs were done kind of in a rush, because we wanted to get something out quickly, and that was the huge mistake. We just should spend more time on design. So a little bit of changes in some of the designs, definitely scale of the miniatures. We have to make sure the miniatures are up to the scale which is now common, which is 32mm scale, and so on. Yes, about 20. We had about 20 names. That's correct. Yes. So question: do you know when shipping will start for the Paizo Starfighter minis? I mentioned this one. We received, depending where you are, your location, because European passes should be out now. Anything which is USA, we received data last week and is being shipped, was passed to shipping team this week. I've seen some tooling last week also on manufacturing, that meaning that maybe was more needed than we expected initially. So it is definitely happening, and you should get those minis very, very soon. The Lizard guys. Yeah, Navo. Yes, I haven't shown it here because this is something I wanted to keep it for. But the Navo has changed a little bit, and we have a new design for Navo. And yeah, that's gonna be done. Thanks for doing stream. No worries. We were gonna be doing that on weekly basis anyway. So showing you a little bit more stuff and things like that. Yeah, making Rampart DNL compatible. That means obviously that the previous system cannot be compatible in any means. It will have to be, new system. Just to make sure about that one, right? Because when I designed the DNL was much better design in overall, than a Rampart. Rampart was done based on how much I can fit on a sprue with the given conditions. So that's why the walls are much longer than the DNL. DNL was much more engineered because we needed to have that floor space, which was 30 by 30mm, so a little bit over inch. So they have completely different designs, which was later on we find out it's a shame that it's not the same size, but kind of when the Rampart was designed, DNL wasn't even in plans, there was not even thought about DNL. Now I come up with the idea about doing DNL at some point when we were happy with the way we cut the tools and the quality of the product on Rampart, and that I just come up with it. I actually made a small tiny sprue with no detail whatsoever, just to see how it works. Then we to ship it first. So we've made a small samples sprues to see how it works. It wasn't working very well. The first idea wasn't working very well, to be honest, and that's why we come up with completely different system of connecting walls and things like that. Let me just questions. Making okay. Hope you see more Kazumi stuff for Rampart. Yeah, Kazumi was Kazumi fits perfectly with Navo, and Navo Kazumi is basically the same stuff. Is Heroes on track on November? Yes, Heroes 3 is track on November on a Kickstarter. I know there is small shift in the projects in terms of delivering it to reviewers. However, we're still on track to be on time on that one. Question: you mentioned some DNL items will be hitting retail, like Townfolks. Around what time? Townfolks, we already agreed the September release, retail release will include Townfolks entire box. So we're not splitting anything. Just entire box will be, except of 2 miniatures, which is the tiny sprue, because we needed to remove that sprue from the box. Otherwise, it won't fit to the normal boxes we have in retail. So it will be that box minus. It will be this box. It will be this box. Just check my face. Why are you looking at this picture? Okay, yeah, sorry. It will be in this box minus 2 miniatures. So that's September release. Jarek, please update the process of offensive minis. Yes, that will be done. I hope, well, definitely it's gonna be done next week. We just need to see the numbers where we are exactly with it. It's gonna be sent out. It's gonna be sent out via Kickstarter. Do you have any shipping date for Mod 2 Battleground in French? Next month. It's gonna happen next month. We needed to shift that date. I believe my team already sent out email to people who did pre-orders on the page. It needs to be next month. Unfortunately, we had so much work to do, and the translation didn't came to us on time. Nothing to do with the translation company. It was on our side. That's other thing. And on top of that, we had so much work to do with other releases, like Wave 1 in different languages, like the numbers which they increase a lot for German and things like that. So we basically needed that. The Mod 2 Fields of Eternia, as I mentioned, we have now, as the previous presentation shows you exactly what if you watch the previous stream, we will have more information about it. So in general, we have now we're in the stage where we're going to receive the prototype, and based on that one we will know more how long it will take the final approval, and also how many changes we have to do, and then manufacturers will give us the solid date for manufacturing, and that date will be feedback to you, including delivery date. I'm running out of hobby space. You know what? I remember what I did when I was running out of hobby space, and my wife was hating me for this one. I was removing her stuff from kitchen, basically. Yeah. Every single shelf. I was just putting boxes with miniatures there. I was like a plastic crack junkie, buying everything. I was going to GW store with just 50 quid on me just to buy some things, and for some reason I was spending 300. I don't know how. Yeah, I'm just get my wallet out and okay, I'll get it. Yeah, I used to buy a lot of miniatures, and the only solution for me was to find more space in kitchen, because I had them under my bed, in other room, in the living room. I had in all my cupboards. And then there was time to put more into kitchen cupboards, so that's what I did. Took all the cluttery out, and the miniatures were more important. Yeah, it's not the best idea, and not the best advice. So no, I had lots of rows with my wife about it. So. Is there a list of DNL items, potential dates which will hit retail on your web store? In the last video update, I showed you release schedule. We haven't said that because we're not announcing yet. We will announce. Currently, we're announcing like at least month ahead to ahead to with all the releases, and I would rather stick with this one, because if I give you solid date, might something go wrong and might not happen. So I don't want to do that. We already have this one with 2 other languages which meant to be released 3 other languages meant to release for the core game this month, and we have to unfortunately push the date, which I'm not very happy about it, but it is what it is. Question: I heard a rumor that Roblin started his own rat planting farm and has plans to bring in super-sized rats to battle. I think there is a potential to have some super-sized rat in next campaign, that's for sure. Will be around that kind of, so yeah. Oh yes, I was crazy about the plastic. Yeah, I'd 6, just the Warhammer 40k has 6 armies, full armies, and then Warhammer Fantasy Battle was even bigger. I still own everything, and it's still here. Well, not my home, because obviously I don't have space now for that, but it's here in the factory, and maybe one day I will take a photo of that, but it's a lot. It's a few 100 kilograms. Well, Magic the Gathering is more expensive. That's I think. Yeah. Okay. There is usually a lot of space. Well, as I mentioned, my coach and everything was full, absolutely full, in boxes and so on. It was crazy times, absolutely crazy times. But I love it. I love everything about wargaming. So kind of, I'm still collecting, by the way. So I don't mind what system. I'm gamer basically, so I'm still collecting. At the moment I don't play because there's no time for that. Only play our games. The Battleground was just I played because of I was kind of designing with Jacek as well, and doing all the playtesting, and Michał, and doing all the playtestings and things like that. We play 100 games, and now I play with Jacek. We work on the new spaceship game, so we constantly play that game as well. At least once a day we need to go and discuss a couple things which we played last in terms of rules, what we played previously, and so on. But that makes, partially at least, I'm still in a hobby. I still play the war games. Okay, it's 4 o'clock. I want to say thank you for joining me. We have I want to wish you have a nice weekend. We are breaking up for holidays. Think the next live chat won't be in the 2 weeks time. Fortnite is gonna be happening probably Monday, 2 weeks time Monday, because I'm also going for 1 week holiday with my wife, and we need a little bit of rest. So I'm not gonna be seeing you for couple weeks, and I wish you good holidays if you're going. Funny, stay at home because of weather. If you have to go, it's too hot. And thank you for joining me again.